My name is Paola, and I make videos about albinism for people with albinism so that we can live better with our condition. Um, I had a name for this show. I don't know about it anymore. Listen, because I know that like some people are uncomfortable with the word albino, because it's been used as a slur a lot. Um, so I don't know. I feel weird. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. So, currently nameless show. That's not what we're here to talk about. Um, I wanted to talk about today our very first line of defense when it comes to sun care and yeah, avoiding sun exposure, and that is to avoid sun exposure, to not go outside. So I wanted to talk today about like when not to go outside, because I've noticed personally for me, if I'm outside for a certain amount of time, it really doesn't matter if I have, if I pulled out all the stops. I got a long sleeve, hat, parasol, this, that, the third. It doesn't matter if I'm outside for a certain amount of time. I'm probably gonna get some degree of a sunburn, and we're trying to be sunburn free here. Okay, so yeah, so avoiding the sun. So like for example, like making sure that you're not commuting when the sun is most intense, or receiving deliveries instead of buying things in person, instead of popping in, sending a text message, a phone call, email, you know. Um, so yeah, I mean, the thing is that living with a condition, living with a disability, whichever you would prefer to call it, it's the name of the game is calculated risk. Like, everything is calculated risk, and it's always up to the individual to decide, to weigh the pros and cons, and to decide when they want to do something that's a little bit more risky. Because listen, this is a judgment free zone. I've definitely done some less than ideal things. All day music festival, and it was in Miami too. Like, but anyway, we're gonna get into that. Yeah, so I just want to say, like, it's your call. It's always better to have your own boundaries rather than have limits imposed upon you. So yeah, I'm just gonna provide you some information, and let you make the decisions. Um, so like first and foremost though, I wanted to like note here, we're talking about staying indoors. Make sure that indoors is a haven to begin with. So like investing in blackout curtains, UV filters, so that you can get these things online. It like comes in a roll, and like you kind of peel the plastic from the back of it, you spray it with water, and you spray the window with water, and it's good to have a squeegee, and you adhere it, and it's really cool. You can see out, but people can't see in during the day, which is cool. But yeah, it filters UV, so if you have like a big sliding glass door, that thing's super useful. um, and it doesn't have to be like super expensive or crazy. Like, for example, I remember I rented an apartment once, and there was a window right over the sink. So whenever you're doing dishes or anything like that, like right in your eyes. So I was like, all right, goodbye to this window. I went to the dollar store, and I actually found, at the dollar store, I found this like accordion type thing that came with adhesives, and put it over the window, and bye bye window, no more window. And I actually forgot that we even had that window. When we moved out, the landlord is going to come look at the property. We're like making sure, like, is everything picked up, da, 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 da. And we realized, oh my gosh, gotta take that thing off. And I've read that people like also can put like aluminum on their window if you want to just shut a window down, if you're just like not down with one window, like just um the place that I live at currently, hurricanes are so common that we actually have shutters on all of the windows like permanently. So what I do is just close the shutters, you know. Also, like LED lights. So I mentioned in last video like how certain lighting can have UV in it. So yeah, LEDs have virtually no UV. And then if you own your property, like, gosh, you know, that can be a whole brainstorming session, you know. Investing in awnings and, you know, whatever else you can think of to make yourself comfortable, you know. I'll tell you a story. I was one time I was at the park giving food and toiletries to people experiencing homelessness, and this guy in a wheelchair, he was spitting some truth, you know. He just like was letting us know some things, you know. letting us in on that real stuff, you know. And he was like, listen, like, don't be mean to people, just like do whatever you got to do to be comfortable, like go to the bathroom, you know, if you have to pee, like adjust your clothing, like, you know, do what you got to do to be comfortable so that you can be nice to everyone. And I was like, I remember me and my friend looking at each other and just being like, that is so true. Little irritants, they stack on top of each other, and, you know, they can wear on your patience. I definitely find that if I'm exposed to a lot of sun, I feel like I can't get away from it. It's very frustrating, and it can really wear on me. And yeah, I've also experienced headaches. So it's worth it, you know. The places that you're at most frequently, you know, make them very comfortable for yourself. All right. So getting into it, some clarifications. So you can get sun damage without getting a sunburn. You can also get heighten your chances for skin cancer without getting a sunburn. So just to be clear, like that prolonged like exposure that doesn't like end up with a burn is not, you know, that intense. It's still not good, you know. So the UV is actually something that you can check just like the weather. Like you can ask Siri, like, what is the UV index for today? And it'll give you a number from 0 to 14. Or you can go on Google, like, you know, your area UV index for today, you know. And it'll tell you like the high for the day or like what it is right now. And that varies based on a few different factors. Okay, so first and foremost, of course, like your geographical location, like how close are you to the equator? What season it is. So in the spring and in the summer, there's more UV. How much cloud cover there is. Also ozone. So little aside, ozone is thinned from pollution. Pollution thins the ozone layer of the atmosphere. So Captain Planet was right. Long-term solution, maybe let's stop like polluting. And then of course, you know, the time of the day. So yeah, these are the numbers that I found. All right, you guys ready? If the UV index says 0 to 2, then you can get a sunburn, but it would take an hour. And that's considered mild. 2+ is when you should start using sun protection. 3 to 5, you can get a sunburn in 40 minutes, and that's considered high. 6 to 7 is a sunburn in 30 minutes, and that is very high. 8 to 10 is 20 minutes sunburn, and that is considered extreme. 11+ is a sunburn in less than 15 minutes, and that's hellfire. That's a technical term. So those guidelines I found were given for people with fair skin. So even people with fair skin, I presume, have more melanin superpowers than we do. So maybe it would be wise to take that advice and then just be like a touch, just a smidgen, just a sprinkle more cautious than the numbers I just gave. So fun fact, Miami, where I was born and raised, 7 months out of the year, it is the UV ranges from 10 to 11. Let me say that again. 7 months out of the year, the UV index ranges, the high for the day is 10 to 11. But you know, there are places in the tropics that are year-round 12 plus. So you can check the averages in your area. It'll give you a breakdown like per month by just Googling average UV index and insert your location here. And that will be, you know, very useful to keep in mind for sure. So UV is one part of the electromagnetic spectrum. Radio waves are on the low end and X-rays are on the high end. UV is between X-rays and visible light. So like X-rays, it penetrates the skin, it causes damage, and it cannot be seen and it cannot be felt. So that's really important distinction. Infrared is on the lower end of the electromagnetic spectrum, and infrared is what is heat. Like the sun's rays that are heat is infrared rays. And then the same thing, like visible light is lower than UV. UV is different, it is not seen, it is not felt. So, you know, don't be fooled by a cold day. Also, there are a few different considerations. So like reflections magnify the UV. So water, sand, snow, ice. And also like some notes about cloud cover. I found this interesting. So like if the clouds have, you know, a hole in them and the sun is there, then actually the sun's rays can become intensified by the clouds because it funnels the rays and the edges of the clouds, you know, clouds are water, reflect, and so it just turns it into a beam. Be very afraid. I'm joking. Be reasonably cautious. But anyway, yeah, UV penetrates water. It goes 6 feet into water. It goes through windows, and it's also in shade. So also one thing, for every 3,000 feet that you are above sea level, the UV is 6% more. So when I moved to Colorado, I was like, oh, you know, finally gonna be in a more northern state. Maybe I'll be more comfortable. No. Because I moved to the Mile High City, and they don't call it the Mile High City for nothing. So yeah, my general rules. I'm gonna let you know like my schematic, you know, what I do. Basically from like 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I am indoors. Like I don't go, 11 to 3 is like, no. For me personally. And what that translates to like in real life is really more like I'm not outside from 9 to 5. And in the summer it's even less, like from 8 to 8, like, you know, completely not trying to deal with it. And I'll say like I feel like definitely I've had some hiccups in my social life as a result of me like trying to be more responsible and look out for my health, you know? And so let's say, for example, like you come to me and you're like, so beach at 11 a.m., you know, and I'm like, oh man, you know I love the beach. Like, I love me some beach. But the thing is, like with my condition, I actually have to be kind of careful. It's not good for my health to be out in the sun like that. So like if you're down, like how about we go at like 5? Is that cool with you? I mean, we can like pack up the car at like 3, 4, and get there and set up and whatnot. Like, would that be cool? If not, like, listen, like, I'm not trying to rain on your parade. Like, if you have your heart really set on 11 a.m., like, don't let me stop you. Um, yeah, and, I think about it like if I was on the other side. I think about it like if I was on the other side, if I had a friend that had like a condition or something, I'd be like, yeah, no, like, please let me know how, we can make things comfortable for you. Like, I want you to feel, like you can participate equally. Like, of course, gosh, thank you for letting me know, you know? And, it's not like good sun practices hurts them, Good sun practices is good for everyone. Um, but anyway, yeah. So, I don't know, like, if I'm just saying, like, if you find over and over, they're like, all right, well, peace out, Paola, or, insert your name here. Like, if they're like constantly just, dipping out on you like that, I'm just saying, like, I'd give it a think about who you're associating with. I definitely regret like hanging out with certain people. So yeah, and the last thing I wanted to just mention is that so we're still human. We still need the sun. Yeah, it's good for us. It's good for us too, So like for example, vitamin D. One thing I will say, okay, I'm not your doctor. I'm not your doctor, but it makes sense to me, like logically speaking, like logic would dictate that like if you religiously avoid sun exposure, then wouldn't it be a good idea to supplement vitamin D year round? So if you don't know, vitamin D is an essential vitamin, that we need. That one way that we get it is through the sun. Actually, when the sun hits our skin, we synthesize it, in our bodies. So yeah, definitely a consideration. I'm not your doctor. And then also like sun exposure, being outside, it staves off like low mood, depression. It's good for us to see flora and fauna. Like I've read, I don't know how true this is, but I've read that seeing the color green actually makes you more creative. Like they did a study, like if you like view green. Okay. Anyway, also like our eyes, well, this is true for everyone. It's not good to like always be seeing something close up. It's good to use far vision, like to see into the distance. That's good for our eyes. So what I do is I'm a really early riser. All my fellow early risers out there, y'all know it's awesome. Honestly, I love it. One big perk is I'm up before the sun rises, and I get a couple hours to do things outside. Like I do my exercise, I go walk, and I take out the trash, whatever has to be attended to in the outside of the house. And then same thing in the late evening when the sun starts to set, I do my exercise. I do whatever I need to do. I want to water a plant, whatever, like run errands. Yeah, like if it's just a quick go somewhere, come back, like yeah, like that's the time to do it. Yeah, like I think it's good for us. Like we gotta feel, like we can't be like isolating ourselves. We gotta get out, gotta breathe some fresh air. Yeah. So I hope this was helpful. um, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Or, like, don't, because I'm not your mom.